This week, Donald Trump sat down for an interview with Bloomberg News editor-in-chief John Micklewhite, and it did not go well. And the reason it did not go well is because Donald Trump was forced to talk about policy. Or, at the very least, I can't say he was forced because he totally didn't talk about policy. He was asked to talk about policy, you know, like all the Republicans out there, his allies, his campaign, his donors, begging him for months, please just talk about policy. And then we saw firsthand in this interview with Bloomberg why Donald Trump does not do well when he's asked to talk about policy. In fact, at one point, when Micklewhite actually asked him a question like, hey, Google's pretty big, the DOJ wants to break them up, where do you stand on breaking up Google? That was the question. But instead of answering that, Donald Trump pivoted and talked about Virginia purging voting rolls. Here is the clip. Again, Donald Trump asked about a very specific issue, and he completely falls apart because his brain doesn't know how to handle intelligent conversation. Here it is.
Should Google be broken up?
I just haven't gotten over something the Justice Department did yesterday, where Virginia cleaned up its voter rolls and got rid of thousands and thousands of bad votes, and the Justice Department sued them that they should be allowed to put those bad votes and illegal votes back in and let the people vote. So I haven't gotten over that. A lot of people have seen that. They can't even believe it.
The question is about Google, President Trump.
Yeah.
Yep. I just keep thinking about something the DOJ did. And they sued Virginia for purging the voter rolls because the DOJ said this is a violation of federal law. That's why it happened. But that also is not what the question was. I love how Micklewhite had to come back and be like, yeah, the question was about Google. Donnie, you want to talk about Google? And for the record, after he did clarify that, Trump, of course, did come back and talk about Google, saying, yeah, look, Google's got a lot of power. Very bad to me. They are very bad to me. I can speak from that standpoint. They only have bad stories. In other words, if I have 20 good stories and 20 bad stories, and everyone's entitled to that, you'll only see the 20 bad stories. Okay, Donnie, I don't know if you understand what's going on with the Google monopoly and wanting to break up the company. It actually has nothing to do with them posting good stories versus bad stories. In fact, the stories they're posting aren't related to it at all. So even when you finally got around to attempting to answer the question, you turned it into your personal grievance against Google, which, by the way, is also not even rooted in reality. So no points for you there. And as the interview continued, Donald Trump, again being asked to talk about issues, something he doesn't understand at all, started to get angry. So at one point, Micklewhite says this to Trump. You said, President Trump, there was a thing called the Trump trade in the markets. Do you know what that is? The Trump trade is very simple. People are betting that your policies are going to drive up debt. They're going to drive up inflation. So they're going to drive up inflation and interest rates. Are the investors wrong? And Trump said, yeah, I had 4 years, no inflation. I had 4 years, no inflation. No, you didn't. Inflation is actually a naturally occurring thing. There was, in fact, inflation every year that you were president. And that's an easily verifiable fact. You can get online and look that up and see what the inflation rates were. So you can't say you had no inflation because it's just a natural thing that happens typically year over year, except in very rare instances. But he continued, I had 4 years. It's better than that. And Biden, who has no idea where the hell he is. Okay, Biden went 2 years with no inflation because he inherited from me. And then they started spending money like drunken sailors. They spent so much money. It was so ridiculous, the money they were spending. They were spending on the Green New Scam, Adventure Scam, the Green New Deal. You know, it was conceived by the AOC +3. She never even studied the environment in college. She went to a nice college. She came out. She just said the Green New Scam. She just named all these things. Okay, none of that made any sense, so Micklewhite tries to pull him back. He's like, President Trump, the markets are looking at the fact you are making all these promises. Latest one was car loans. You're flooding the thing with giving giveaways, but I was actually quite kind to you. I used $7 trillion, which is how much he increased the debt by. The upper estimate is $15 trillion. People like the Wall Street Journal, which is hardly a communist organization, they have criticized you on this as well. You are running up enormous debt, which is a fact. And Trump at this point got pissed off. And he goes, what does the Wall Street Journal know? I'm meeting with them tomorrow. What does the Wall Street Journal that they've been wrong about everything? So have you, by the way. You've been wrong. And the crowd cheered, and then Micklewhite said, you're trying to turn this. You're trying to turn. You've been wrong, Trump interrupted. Micklewhite said, I know you're trying to turn this into a debate. There are business people. There are business people. You're wrong. You've been wrong. You've been wrong all your life on this stuff. You know, let me tell you about currency. You go and jump in a lot of different subjects. And then Trump just continued to ramble incoherently like a moron, because that's what happens when Donald Trump is asked to talk about the issues. We're in a tight race at the moment, folks, for some reason. And this is the best Donald Trump can give us. Monday, he's dancing on stage for 40 minutes as people look like they would rather be anywhere else on the planet than in there with him. Tuesday, he comes out, gives this absolutely ridiculous interview showing how stupid he is. And yet we're still in a close race somehow. Honest to God, blows my mind that this race is even close when you have such a brain-dead moron at the top of the Republican ticket. Hi, everyone. This here is little Athena. And Athena would like to know why you haven't subscribed to Fair and Balanced yet. So please, don't let Athena down. Subscribe today.